The Milwaukee Brewers just shocked the MLB after what was one of the best endings I've seen in the MLB this season. We saw Blake Perkins do the unthinkable. We're going to be breaking this down, as well as Brandon Woodruff being the first time he's getting to the 7th inning since his IL stint, as well as some unfortunate news here at the end regarding another injury to this Brewers team, as well as one very sneaky signing that we're going to be talking about here at the end. So be sure to stick around for all of that. Before we do jump into this video, though, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hit the sub button if you want to see more videos like these, more post-game win videos, post-game videos, news videos. We're going to have everything here for you guys. And your sports been absolutely incredible as of late. And we just noticed over 98% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. But with this win, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thinking you're going to want to stick around. We have a lot to cover. Let's get into it. We see, a massive win. Blake Perkins doing one of the best, kind of plays to end a game I've seen in, honestly, probably years. And this was one of the biggest wins that this Brewers team have had this season, not due to just any single game, but the importance and what this game told us about this Milwaukee Brewers team. Will not see anybody else, any other team do this season. Now, you all know the play I'm referring to for those who, and I saw some people commenting say that you couldn't watch home games on your TV, and I feel so bad for you if you did not get to see this game. The ending of this game, a absolute missile from Blake Perkins from center field straight to William Contreras at catcher. Starling Marte going from second to home and gunned out for the final play of this game. And this was really the highlight of the game. And of course, this pitching game was phenomenal for the Brewers, even though there was 2 home runs let up. And we're going to jump into that here in a moment when we go more towards the Brandon Woodruff side of things. But this right here, this play, ladies and gentlemen, that you see to the left side of me on your screen, this highlights Brewers baseball. This highlights what the Brewers are doing in this season to get to the point that they are, to get to the best team in the MLB. You're seeing plays like this where any other team would, try and do it, wouldn't happen. This is Brewers baseball, where you fight out these wins, a 3-2 win, you come in here and do this type of thing to end the game. This just gets your team going. This is what generates wins. It's always nice to have a great player, some players hitting well, but moments like these bring these teams to the top. And even going into it, Brandon Woodruff, a 7-inning game, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, which are 2 solo home runs. And once again, we're going to kind of jump into why this is really not such a big deal later on here in this video, but 8 strikeouts as well. Bryce Turang, the home run, the walk, 1 for 3. I feel like this is something that we always say here. The plate discipline, the power that this team brings, and it's everybody on this roster. It's a different one every single game. You're getting all of this, and it's absolutely phenomenal to see. But this game, really wasn't about offense. We see some offense here coming from this Brewers team in the last series against Arizona. But when you come into, against Atlanta, with the next one against Arizona, we're hoping to see this continue. When you're seeing this type of game where you have a team that can go out here, show off their power, show off the bat, show off the contact, you can win a game that way. You get a game like this where your team really shows out on defense and wins a game that way when your offense may be not necessarily struggling, but may not be firing on all cylinders in this game. These are the types of games that we need to see going down the stretch, especially the later half of this month when right now we have the Mets, going to the Diamondbacks, the Reds, the Cubs, the Blue Jays, the Giants. We're going to have to see that all throughout this month, and that's what's really going to excel this team, put this team in the right winning mindset, and continue to be in this winning mindset with all the injuries that we do have. And like I said, we're going to jump into those here in a moment, but going to the comparisons for the team on this one, and I don't necessarily want to go over every player stat. We're going to do that in most videos, but right now I feel like this game was about a lot more, especially coming to the pitching, which we're going to get into here in just a moment. But one more thing, and this is what I mentioned in the last post-game video as well, that when you're coming down into games like this, even though the Brewers only had 4 hits, they did get 3 runs out of it, 9 players left on base. Not the end of the world, of course. Those could be the difference in a win or a loss. In this case, it really didn't matter, but those are the ones you want to see, just a little bit more clutch. And I know clutch don't come, just out of the blue. You can't really teach clutch, but players like that, we have those players. We know those players are here. So expecting that, kind of every game, it's tough, but I know that this team can do it. So I just want to point that out and get you guys to keep an eye on this as we go through these videos, just about every day, multiple every day, and especially coming into this and the news that we're going to have, in a few moments here. we're going to have a lot more stuff coming tomorrow and throughout this weekend, where the Brewers are now coming into the Blue Jays at the end of this month, have a 25-game stretch in 25 days. But we got to move on to one more thing before we kind of do jump into these moves and injuries that happened as of today. Brandon Woodruff, since returning from the injured list, 2.29 ERA, a 0.65 whip, a 139 opponent average, 45 strikeouts versus 6 walks in 35 and a third innings. He's allowed 7 home runs, but 6 have been solo home runs. Now, obviously, the home runs, that's a bit, I would say excessive, but 6 solo home runs, an absolute no big deal, especially the way this Brewers team has been swinging the bat. Now, one thing that you would really, I guess, hope would see Brandon Woodruff do, is which he's continuing to do, and which he's already done, which is a very good thing, is keep those runners off base when you have someone that can probably pop a ball into the outfield. And that's one thing that he's been really good at, and that's why it's been 6 solo homers of his 7 since returning from the IL. But, the way the Brewers are swinging the bat, this is something that they're very good at kind of not necessarily avoiding, because, you can't really avoid things like that, but necessarily when they're coming into it, they're very good at changing and switching the momentum in their direction after something like that. And we've been able to see that, especially in the past 2 series against, this time in the Braves, and also the earlier series throughout the past, end of July, early this month. So I'm expecting this to continue, and Brandon Woodruff coming back from the IL is a major thing, especially with Jacob Misiorowski on the IL, as well now as Logan Henderson. And this comes as of, today, but retroactive to August 4th, so this is pretty much a 10-day IL. He is being placed on the IL retroactive to August 4th, and that was today due to elbow inflammation. So this is another huge loss for this Brewers team. We brought in Logan Henderson, or brought him back up to the MLB, I should say, to replace Jacob Misiorowski for this injury. It wouldn't be a one-for-one replacement, but the way that Logan Henderson has been throwing the ball this year has been absolutely phenomenal. And that was as good of as a replacement as you could have gotten, but now we're seeing him on the IL as well, which caused to another potential move that happened earlier today we're going to jump into here in a moment. But going back to this injury, this is one that you definitely do not want to see. Yet, we saw him coming into his career total at, I believe it was 113. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but we saw him at that, just about to reach that. Jacob Misiorowski coming into his inning limit as well, and kind of caused the idea and a lot of swirl of the conversation of a 6-man rotation. Was that going to happen? But we now have to wait even longer and see more things come back into it with all of this. And I do have an update regarding that, a quote here from RotoWire via CBS. And this is what they had to say. Logan Henderson has been tasked with filling in for Jacob Misiorowski with that tibia injury that he got. Henderson was slated to start take the mound tomorrow on Saturday, maybe today by the time you're watching this, but he'll instead head to the injured list due to the elbow inflammation. It's unclear who will replace him, the 23-year-old, on the mound Saturday, but Tobias Myers was recalled from AAA Nashville in a corresponding move. Now, this article also went on to say, with Jacob Misiorowski likely being back by the time that we do see Logan Henderson off the IL, they threw out the idea of him going back down to the AAA team and going to pitch there for the remainder of the season. Now, this is something I'm going to jump further into in a video tomorrow, so be sure to stick around. I mean, that makes you have to hit the sub button as well. Hit that bell so you get the notifications for the videos, but I'm still thinking that a 6-man rotation would really fit in. And due to the signing that we had here earlier today, this could make another possible move to the MLB to help out on the pitching side of things a bit more important than we initially thought. And I'm going to jump into that here now. The MLB trade rumors put out the Brewers have signed Julian Merryweather to a minor league deal. Now, this is a very interesting signing because Julian Merryweather a few years ago with that Blue Jays team was a phenomenal pitcher, throwing upwards of 100 miles an hour. Now, since then, he has taken a significant drop and it's been absolutely garbage as of late, and I'm not even sugarcoating that. Going back to with Chicago, he opted out after being sent down. You see this year, 5.79 ERA. Last year, a 6.6 ERA. 3.3 the year before. Not too bad there, but when you're coming into his recent years, his velo's down, his ERA is up. Everything that you want as a pitcher to have up is down. So, he's just not exactly what we are really looking for right now, but he certainly brings the help on the mound if needed. MLB experience, having him come into this roster as an option for the bullpen could help out in these later innings with a guy who's throwing gas. We know that Logan Henderson and Jacob Misiorowski can throw the ball quite fast, and if the Brewers are looking to bring that back into this lineup, of course we have some players that already have that, but Julian Merryweather, someone who can pop in, earlier in the game if you need him for a 2 to 3 inning stretch. It is possible. Now, will his stats, these stats in specific, bring him back up to that level? It's very tough to say, and especially with the way we've seen him pitch, it's not looking too good. But this is another option. I think that the possibility of having him throw 100, being able to get back up to that number, could be very enticing for this Brewers team, and I think this is a big reason behind the signing. So, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about more of this in tomorrow's video with Logan Henderson, also going into more Julian Merryweather stuff with the game. So, expect likely 2 videos tomorrow, and we have a lot of stuff to cover. But in this video, let me know what you think about this game tonight. Obviously, Blake Perkins' incredible throw to end the game a stellar way. I'm very curious to see what you think about that, and I hope we do get a very entertaining game again tomorrow with another massive win for this Brewers team. But like I said, let me know what you think in all the topics in this video. But that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.